Knowing how to keep yourself alive is an extremely important skill to acquire in Star Wars Squadrons. With every death costing your team morale points and forcing you out of the match for 15 seconds, being skilled at evading enemy fighters is arguably more important than being skilled at shooting them down, and gets more difficult the higher you level up in the ranking system. What's up, you guys? I'm not amazing, I'm just mediocre, and I'm here today to share with you the vital evasive maneuvers that you'll need to survive in Star Wars Squadrons. From your beginner level aileron roll all the way up to your expert level retrodrifting technique that pro players love to abuse. We're going to be covering it all on this video, so make sure you stick all the way to the very end. But we're going to get started with the basic controls of the Starfighter, just kind of a quick overview so you can understand what I'm talking about. You have your pitch up and your pitch down. Then you have your yaw left and your yaw right. And then you have your basic rolling functions, rolling left and rolling right. In order to perform your basic aileron roll, you're going to go ahead and pitch upwards and then roll to either the left or the right at the same time. This will cause your fighter to do a corkscrew maneuver and generally make you more difficult to hit. And this is best used in conjunction with obstacles in your environment. As soon as you start getting shot from behind, you can do an aileron roll and put some cover in between you and your enemy. Continue to find more gaps in that cover and perform more aileron rolls, and depending how crazy your maneuvers are, you might even be able to get that enemy to crash. An important note here is I do pitch up on purpose because that's where the most field of view is. Pitching down, you're very likely to crash into obstacles you can't see. Now, even though this is the first maneuver on the list, it's the one I end up using most often. You saw it used to great effect here in the intro clip where I rolled around these satellite dishes, even though I bumped a little bit. And it's generally the bread and butter of your evasion techniques. Being able to roll in and out of different obstacles in your environment is going to afford you a lot of ability to evade your enemies. Now, this is a tactic that can apply to any fighting game, but this is Star Wars Squadrons, and we have some interesting techniques that no other fighting simulator have, like our boost drifting maneuvers, where you can use your boost meter in order to slow down and drift with tight turns around corners. It feels a lot like driving a muscle car in space. And this is best used for your attack runs, getting quick pull arounds, being able to turn quickly, get enough distance between you and your target for, say, that proton or piercing torpedo lock, and then turn around right away, get that lock on, launch your torpedo, and turn around again. Hit and run attacks are built on your basic drift turn, but it's just like I said, the most basic version of this maneuver. There's actually quite a lot of advanced boost drifting techniques that the pro players like to abuse in order to survive in fleet battles. One of them is to use small micro drifts in order to change your flight path and make you less easy to hit on the way back to the safe zone. You're going to boost, hit the drift, and while you're in that drift, you can turn and roll much more quickly than without. So you're going to hit the boost, and then hit the drift, and then turn just a small angle, and then boost again. And this is going to allow you to fly in a nice zigzag pattern across the battlefield, making you more difficult to hit while still covering a great amount of distance at the same time. This is something I use most often on big, wide open maps like Yavin. I will use plenty of zigzagging micro drifts in order to get back to my safe zone. However, if you're on a map with a lot more cover, then you're going to be looking at abusing your micro drift, which is basically just using your drifts in order to weave your way in and out of the copious amounts of obstacles in your environment. While you're boosting, you're going to hit that drift and then roll at the same time, trying to do your nice aileron rolls that I talked about at the beginning of the video, but while you're doing your boost drifts. And this is going to allow you to maneuver in extremely unpredictable ways around the obstacles in maps like Nadiri Dockyards, and both evade pursuers as well as show up behind enemies from some unpredictable angles. Now, as cool as micro-drifting might seem, the expert players of this game have taken it to the next level with a technique dubbed retrodrifting. It's almost like a form of non-stop drifting in a triangle, making you extremely unpredictable and difficult to hit. You're going to click your boost, but immediately click and hold that drift down and then get that nice sharp turn. And about when you've hit the 180-degree mark, you're going to click that boost button and hit it again. The emphasis on very fast, rapid double tapping of the boost button here in order to maximize the amount of boost bar you have. And while that might not look much from the inside, here's what it looks like from the outside. This enemy player in a TIE Defender, Shazam Powers, is using retrodrifting against me and my team. This player, by the end of the battle, had 0 deaths. Anytime you got him lined up in his sights, he started boost drifting around like an absolute madman in ways that I have never seen before. And it wasn't until I found and understand what retrodrifting was that I figured out what he was doing. And it's actually the most possible to do in that TIE Defender because it has such a ridiculously fast charging boost recovery time. It's able to abuse this technique unlike any starfighter. So retrodrifting, extremely powerful, but retrodrifting in a TIE Defender, ridiculously overpowered. I have never gone up against a starfighter that was as difficult to hit as someone who was using this retrodrifting technique, and I absolutely got stomped by the team in the face of it. No matter what your level of skill, from Maverick and Hotshot all the way up to Legend and Galactic Ace, learning how to better manipulate the boosting and drifting mechanics in Star Wars Squadrons is vital to increasing your rate of survival, which, as I stated at the beginning of the video, I believe is the single greatest skill that you can acquire in Star Wars Squadrons. Think about it. The more you die, the more often your team is on defense. The more you're on defense, the more your team is destroying your objective while you don't get to destroy theirs. I'll tell you, the games that I lose, my team has generally died more than the enemy's team. If you guys like this kind of technical information on how to get better at Star Wars Squadrons, go check out the Squadrons Community Knowledge Compendium. It's a page over on Reddit. There's going to be a link in the description below, and it has links to resources with huge amounts of knowledge on Star Wars Squadrons. From all of these boost drifting techniques I described in this video, to stats and information on every single weapon and ship in the game. From your basic starfighters all the way up to your capital ships. And if you guys want information on how to win more fleet battles, make sure you click the video you see on your screen right now. I hope to see you there. In the meantime, I'm not amazing, I'm just mediocre, and I'm out.